Hi guys, so for today's lesson we will be going over the scatter plot, and we'll be able to define what a scatter plot is. So in your warm-up, what was asked for you to do was just plot these 5 specific points on our graph. So you'll notice that point A37, after you plotted it, it should be located somewhere (3, 7). So on our x-axis we go over to the right +3 and then up 7. For our point B, starting at the 0, 0, the origin, over to the right 4 units, +4 up 2. Point C would be -4, 7, so starting in the middle again, over to the left -4, up 7 units. And point D would be -1, -4, so we go over 1 and then down -4. And the last one would be 7, 3, starting in the middle again, over 7, up 3, and that would be my point E. So then you would want to label these as well. So this is what your warm-up should look like. And as for some guided notes today, so a scatter plot, it is a graph of plotted points that show the relationship between two sets of data. Okay, so in this example that's given, each blue dot represents one person's weight and their height. So for example, if I told you I weighed this amount and my height was this much, this specific point right here could be represented by my weight and my height. All of these are separate people. Okay, what are the two sets of data? The two sets of data in this example were the weight and the height. Okay, so for some guided practice today, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the data that's given to us on this table. Okay, and we're going to plot the points, or plot points based off of the information that's given on this table. Okay, so down below what I did already for you is I plotted all of the points. So again, the minutes studied was my x-axis. The test score results were my y-axis. That's what I labeled here on my 2 axes. I labeled my axes, and then I also wrote in some numbers here. So we went increments of 10 on our x-axis, and we started at 40 here because there was no score less than a 40, and we went in increments of 5 to reach the total score, which is the best score you could get on a test is 100. Okay, so what this tells me here is that somebody who does not study received a 60. One of the students that studied, let's say looks like 15 minutes, got about a 70 on their test, and so on and so forth. So this is a scatter plot based off two sets of data. So the first set is the minutes studied, and the second is the test score. Okay, number 1, question 1 answer is, what can be said about the points you plotted on the graph above? So what we could say about these plotted points is that the scatter plot is going in an upward trend, meaning if you study more on a test, you more likely will get a better score if you study more, or if you keep, meaning this minute study, if you study more on a specific test. Okay, so number 2 says, what do you notice about the coordinate 25, 98? So let's locate this here, and then we're going to compare it to the rest of the data. So 25, 98, here's 25 on our x-axis, up until 98, which would be this dot right here. Okay, what can we say about this dot? Well, this dot is an outlier. It's on the outside of this trend right here. Okay, so if you can notice that, we draw a circle around these points here. They're about in the same vicinity, right? Compared to this dot here that's way on the outside. So this is what we call an outlier. Alright, so what you're going to be doing right now is you want to work on the next part, which is your classwork for today.